Brilliant. I'd like to move on now to our second speaker. We've got Lionel Vancon from Bosch. I think you've worked in 3 different countries in Bosch, but recognizing that all of them are facing the same air quality issues. So I think there's going to be some interesting cross-learning there. And moving from the public sector cross-working, I still like to know how you did that, to the engineering, sales and strategy teams involved in some of the complex projects. Lionel's going to speak about some of its experiences in between the challenge between design and collaboration. So I'm going to hand over to you, Lionel. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I think you notice English is not my native language, so I'm sorry if I do some mistake. It's great to see you face to face finally. Today we'll speak about Bosch and air quality. I think you all know Bosch for the wash machine or dishwasher. Unfortunately, today I will not speak about it, but mainly about our air quality solution. So we are lucky. We developed a department some years ago with all the different know-how we have in the company around air quality. And I am in charge of the product development, also the business plan, but also all the partnering activity. You might know Bosch also is not part about stock market. So the main leitmotif of Bosch is invented for life, which means most of our products aim to go in the direction of new innovation, but also innovation to improve the life of everyone. Air quality, we know, is a big topic since more than 10 years. Now it's growing up everywhere in the mindset of the new generation, but also in Bosch, it was already in the founder, so Robert Bosch, in the mindset. So that's from this background, we decide to bring all the different small activity or the different projects we have all around the world into one department, air quality solution. I think it's maybe not common, and I appreciate really what's happened in Bristol, because you try to bring all the different community, but also the different players. And we in Bosch, we have the same approach. We know that air quality will not change by ourselves with a big company like Bosch, but also like a local authority cannot do everything by their own. So this is a work together with the different private and public sector activities. So we see that there is a different way to do it, either with some proof of concept, but also some common development of a common product, a common vision. And that's how we start to go in this direction with our different products here. I think, you know, Bosch is very oriented technology. We have a lot of engineers, mainly in Germany, but all around the world. We are around 400,000 employees, associated all around the world. And all of them has an interest for air quality. And when we start this department, it was quite funny because we start to communicate first internally, and everyone start to come to us and say, how can we help? So with this background, we try to bring the different know-how we have into our different solutions. So we have some know-how in data management. We have some know-how in IoT device. We know for sure all the topic about artificial intelligence, but also the mobility solution topic is a big topic, but Bosch is working with most of the OEMs so for this area. So we know also there is a change to do in this direction. So all together, we try to bring according to the different region of the world. And we know UK is quite leading this topic in Europe better than Germany. So that's also the reason why I'm here today. It's really trying to bring the different stakeholders in the different area. But these stakeholders can play a role in their own local area, but also worldwide. So we try also to bring the academic exchanging of new process or new method to improve in this area. So for this reason, I will also present one of our products which try to bring Europe together. What to know about our approach? So I think you saw already air quality topic is getting in a private sector more and more attention. Our approach is mainly around scientists approach. So we don't want to go in a greenwashing way. We don't want just to show we have interest for air quality, but we don't want to do some change. We prefer to first go with the academic, to go with the real key player and stakeholders, than to produce or to go in series without any vision for long term. So knowing that, we try to bring 3 different products which can help in every area of air quality. Here today, I will speak only about ambient air quality. So the indoor for us is not our priority currently. We have also developing some sensor with some other partner for indoor air quality, but this is not my presentation of today. We can see here Bosch has different products. So you see the 3 main products in air quality. So the first one to the right is quite easy. This is an air quality monitoring box. So this is a sensor measuring air quality in every minute or every hours in every area where you have an interest to measure it. This is an IoT device, so this means it's directly connecting to the cloud, and you can show this information on every kind of display. And the advantage of this box is the robustness and the data quality. We know there is more and more box popping everywhere in the world. Most of them present some data quality which are still questioning. And Bosch designed this box during more than 3 years with academic in France, with academic in Germany, and also with some of them here in England. So in order to design it, maybe not on the nicest way, I feel free to have a look on the box, and downstairs we have one example. So it might be not a small one, nice to see, but the reliability of the data are really important for us. So for this reason, we went with also institute, one in France, for example, who is working with Working Group 42 in Europe. So this Working Group 42 is aiming to standardize this kind of box. Currently, I think you know most of the reference station you see for air quality measurement in the street are regulated, but for the smaller reference, so the smaller sensor like this one, there is no regulation. So Europe work on it, and they develop some specific standards. So then we can really identify what is the reliability of this data, what is how this data are correlated with reference station, and how we can rely on this data. And this is again the scientist approach of Bosch. We know that we cannot start to discuss about improving or doing some changes if from the beginning the data are not reliable. That's where we came. And we spend a lot of time to redesign. We spend a time also on our production line to control it. And now we spent a certification like 1 year ago, and we achieved the indicative measurement goal, which means we are few percentage below a reference station in terms of accuracy. But we are not so far. And the goal is not to replace the reference station. We still need the reference station, but from some area where you cannot install this kind of big reference station, you have this possibility to install it, to move it to one place to another. So that's one of our products. The 2 others, they are not physically feasible. They are software and software as a service. So the first one, maybe I will, okay, I should go quickly here. You can see this box. The main parameter as a parameter where Europe is taking care and the WHO as well. It's NO2, O3, CO, and SO2. And of course, the particulate matter, we know it's growing, and even more in UK, it's getting a big important topic. So we have the 2.5 and 10, and we are thinking also for the particulate matter 1. So here, this is a box. And you can see on the back the picture. They were installed in London, and I will give you some overview of what we did in London. The second product is a model. This model aims to not install new hardware in your street or in your local area, but just use all the data available already in most of the smart city, or even in some cities they have part of the data. Which kind of data do we need for this model? You can see here we need the traffic data. So we need to know how many cars are getting in, out of the working area, but also which kind of car is it? If it's a light-duty truck, is it a truck? Is it two-wheelers? And we need also to understand how old is this car. We know that there is different kind of engine in the car, can play different roles. And finally, we need the street map to understand if it's 3-lane, 2-lane, in which direction. So all this data most of the time are available. The city have it either in a registration way or with camera. We see in London with the NPR camera. So this is data available. So we gather this data. In addition to this data, we bring also floating car data, which are real-time driving data from different service providers. And we have the GPS data for sure. These are anonymized, sorry, still difficult in English for me. So this data help us to know where are braking and accelerating the car. And we know for emission of the car, this is one of the key players. So even if you have a brand new car with the best engine or a very old car, the key players is really when you brake and you accelerate. So that's why these real-time data are the key information we need to have for our model. We run all this data in our cloud. We with a lot of study with an university in Austria, we develop a model, and this model allows us at the end to know the emission factor from a floating car in a specific area. So that means every 20 meters, we can know what is the emission out of this or out of the vehicle driving in this area. This information can be updated every hours. And with this information, we can really understand the impact of the traffic in a working area. What does that mean concretely? It means you don't need to say the car are bad for my city. You need first to understand, are they playing a role? And if I can change mainly first the traffic before taking the car away of the street. And that's it. It's important because sometimes you just need a small changes to make really a big difference. We know traffic is playing, I think Hannah mentioned it, is playing more than 50% of the emission of the NOx, let's say, pollution in the city. So that's why this solution can really help the city for a microscopic approach. There is already a solution existing in the market. We can see from a very helicopter view the map of where the pollution from the cars, but we cannot see in every 20 meters in an update time of every hours. So this is really a key tool. We already use it, and I will present it also in London, how we use the advantage of this tool. The last tool we have is air quality dispersion model. So this tool at the end is using the air quality box data plus the emission data from the cars, and also take into account the topology of the area, but also the weather condition. We know that the weather is playing a big role on air quality, the wind, but also the temperature. So we run it in a model to have a 3D, at the end, a 3D map to understand how the air quality flow is moving in every hours till 5 meter precision. Why we want to go again to this precision? We want to help heavy stakeholders to understand in a very precise way where is the issue. And we don't want just to say, okay, your city is red because of air quality, but maybe the morning at 5 a.m. when the delivery truck are starting, there is maybe an issue. Then you have the school, maybe you need to take care if they are running along a park. So to have exactly the hotspot point in a 3D map every hours. So knowing all this product, we run a project here in London. I spent 3 years in London, so it's in my heart. I'm from Paris, so I'm still hesitating which of these two cities I prefer. But London was one of our key target because we think London is a very complex ecosystem. There is a lot of different key players. And for this reason, we start to try to work with one of the most important is TfL, so Transport for London. So we We approached Transport for London. We approached also the Lambeth Council, and we exchanged to find a place where there is an interest to improve air quality. And I don't know if you know Brixton area. Brixton is a very interesting area because there is a lot of different kind of mobility. There is also a lot of people walking in this area at the end of the Victoria line. So this is a very attractive area. So we decide to focus here to try to improve air quality. And again, we don't expect Bosch can change the world in 2 seconds. We didn't go to say, okay, we will improve the air quality of 50%. We just say, okay, let's try just a small topic. Let's try to bring the traffic to a better way so we can improve air quality. So knowing that, we start first to install. Here you can see around 70 boxes to have a full map of air quality, mainly along the main road you can see here in the middle, but also to understand the background of air quality. As Anna mentioned, we all know that 50% and even more in certain areas of the air quality issue come from the background. So that means we need to understand how much it is impacting the background. So we put some boxes all around the neighborhood. And interestingly, like you mentioned in Brussels, the community was really interested. So when we installed it, I was there and we had some questions of the people, they want to learn. So we did also some session with the council, the Lambeth Council, so they can understand what is the goal. And that's also something make me really feel proud, because that means the people care. And even if Brixton has a lot of other issues, air quality is still one of them where they care. Okay, thank you. I can do it. So then we start to look at all the data available from TfL. And TfL, as you know, they have a bus fleet running here. They have also a lot of data coming from the traffic, so they can know how many cars are getting in and out. They're also regulating the low emission zones, so they know with the NPR camera which kind of car are running in and out. So we bring all this data and we run it in our emission model. And that gives this kind of map. Here, this is a map in one specific day, a specific time. You can see in the middle is clearly red. So that means the emission of the car was quite impacting at this day. In addition to that, we start to take into account all the weather condition, but also the topology of the building. And here it's just an example how the wind was at this day, at this specific time running. And with this we can see clearly there is a big corridor effect in the middle. So the working area is exactly where we want to focus to, because this is the exit of the Victoria line. A lot of people are working there, but also a lot of shops are there. So we want to improve the air quality in this area. So this corridor effect makes the air not changing so much and then not renew the air in this area. So knowing that, I don't know if we can play it. If not, we developed this map in a 3D way, where you can see normally running here for 2 days, the change, the air quality, how it's changing, how it's moving. And with this view, we were able to discuss with Lambeth Council plus TfL to understand, okay, where is the problem? And we realized the problem is mainly the traffic. When it runs through the middle, cannot have a smooth way to drive. So we decide to check more on the north and the south, the 2 traffic lights. And these 2 traffic lights were not properly coordinated. So we decide why not to change this traffic light strategy. So only 2 traffic lights, and to make sure then the car can drive smoothly in the middle. We know there is not only cars, there is bus. So we also coordinate it with the bus line. And with this strategy, it was again only a small changes. We managed to improve the traffic in the middle. So the emission improved in between 6 to 20% for NOx, but also we improve the traffic speed in the middle. So the car were driving more smoothly, and we're able to improve the drive, and it was more convenient for the driver, but also more convenient for the pedestrian around for air quality reason. So with this view, we then check it from emission to ambient air quality with our model. And we saw at the end, we improve around 3% of the NOx in this area. So that means even if we improve 6% from emissions from the traffic, in total, only 3% from air quality, because we know again that the traffic is not the only reason for problem in this area. And even if 3% looks really slow for this area, when we spoke with the council there, they were really impressed. And it was already a big improvement for them because they already try a lot of different activities. And it's the first time with only changing traffic lights, they managed to see a so big change. So this kind of project is only an example what we can do. And we, again, have a view of going in a microscopic, so to try to do some small change. And of course, we know that this small change are depending also of bigger change, regional or in between Europe as well. But at least we want to have some tool for the local authorities to make some changes. Last slide. We know city has a big problem with air quality, but they are not the only one. And we, Bosch, have the advantage to play in different domains, different area. And we have been solicited by different activities and different stakeholders. For building, for example, there is new school going with the idea to have some also sensor to check the air quality, but we have also the industrial, they know their impact and they want to understand the impact and to fence line monitor. There is also all the transport hub we see currently with Corona and all the containers standing along the port, bringing also an impact on air quality. So we try to play with these different stakeholders. And again, our goal is not to play alone and to play with the academic from the region, but also the local authorities. That's it for me. I'm on time.
Yes, thank you.